Hi everybody, in this morning video from City Insider, I will bring the latest Manchester City update. We'll start with Man City targeting Ederson. Manchester City need to reinforce their midfield this month. While the City hierarchy has been busy on multiple fronts so far in the transfer market, their need to sign another midfielder or two remains. As of now, a concrete midfield target for Manchester City is yet to emerge, but one player has consistently been named as a potential target for City. That is Atalanta midfielder Ederson. A new report has emerged naming the Brazilian as a player Manchester City could be after this month. So perhaps he is the player the world champions will target this month. Rob Dawson has reported for ESPN that Manchester City retain an interest in signing Ederson this month. Dawson adds that signing the Brazilian may be a difficult deal to complete this month given the importance of Ederson to Atalanta's push to win the Serie A title. Dawson's new report follows on from reports from Jack Gonn and Martin Blackburn for the Daily Mail and The Sun that Ederson is a player that City are interested in signing. Mcfc agree £35 million deal for Wonderkid centre-back. Manchester City have finalised a deal for Lens centre-back Abdulkadir Kusanov that could be worth £33.5 million plus add-ons. Kusanov has agreed a 4.5-year contract, with the option of an extra year. Lens boss will still said, "We know that there are negotiations in progress. Things are moving. He's sick. He was in the gym today, but he went home. But after that, we're not going to lie to each other." Kusanov will become the first player from Uzbekistan to play in the top flight when he completes his move. City are expected to make further proposals for Palmeiras defender Vita Reis, 18, and Eintracht Frankfurt striker Omar Marmoush this weekend. Kusanov started his career with Energetic BGU in Belarus, but has become an important player for Lens since joining in 2023. That year he made the rankings for the top 200 most promising youngsters in football, being rated the 15th most exciting centre-back. Lens have the second best defensive record in League One this season, having conceded 15 goals in 16 games, only one more than Paris Saint-Germain. Kusanov has helped keep 7 clean sheets. The 20-year-old, who has Champions League experience and 18 caps for Uzbekistan, had also caught the eyes of Tottenham and Newcastle. Guardiola delighted at Bob's return to training. Pep Guardiola is hopeful that Oscar Bob will be able to return to action soon and have an impact in the second half of the season. While the City boss has not put a timescale on his availability, the Norwegian international has returned to partial training at the CFA. Bob suffered a fractured leg in training on the eve of the season in August, ruling him out of the campaign so far. It was cruel luck after the 21-year-old was in sparkling form on our pre-season tour to the United States. Guardiola was delighted to have him back with the squad, although he is not expected to be part of the squad for the FA Cup third-round tie against Salford City. It's the first long injury for Oscar Bob, but with his physicality I don't think he needs too much time to get fit and to get ready, the City boss said. In the last 2 days he made partial training and that's good news for us. In a few things he has special qualities that he showed us in pre-season. Come the second part and hopefully he can help us. Pep Guardiola mocks Gary Neville. Pep Guardiola insists he could never be critical pundit like FA Cup rival Gary Neville. Guardiola and Neville will go head-to-head on Saturday when Manchester City host Salford in the third round. Neville is one of Manchester United's class of '92 who co-own the League Two minnows, but the former England and United defender is better known as one of the most high-profile TV critics in English football. Guardiola has clashed with Neville numerous times since taking charge of City in 2016. The Spaniard hit back at him following criticism his English champions were boring. He also took exception to comments Neville made recently about his treatment of Belgian Kevin De Bruyne. Guardiola couldn't imagine himself ever being a pundit, because he wouldn't want to criticize managers or players. Guardiola said, "I don't think I'm going to do that. I am cautious. I couldn't make a comment that could hurt my colleagues. I know how difficult this job is, how difficult it is, and I don't want to pretend sitting there. It's so unpredictable and many things happen. I could hurt someone sometimes with the delivery." Man City have Omar Marmoush backup plan. Manchester City could try to sign John Duran from Premier League rivals Aston Villa in the January transfer window. That is according to the independent journalist Miguel Delaney, who has reported that City have tentative interest in Duran. Writing in his Reading the Game newsletter, which was sent to his subscribers via email on Friday, Delaney claimed that Duran is an alternative option to Omar Marmoush, the citizens are keen on signing 25-year-old forward Marmoush from Eintracht Frankfurt in the January transfer window. If the defending Premier League champions are unable to get that deal over the line, then they could try to bring Duran from Villa. Delaney wrote, Manchester City want a forward alongside at least 2 other signings, and, should the move for Eintracht Frankfurt's Omar Marmoush fall apart, some believe that tentative interest in Aston Villa's John Duran could be strengthened. If City come calling, then Duran should not think twice before making the decision to move to the Etihad Stadium. He simply would have to go. Under manager Pep Guardiola, City will rise again, and Duran will surely want to be a part of that. The former UEFA Champions League winners will also be able to pay the £14.75 million forward handsomely. True, Duran will be used as a backup striker at City. After all, Erling Haaland is the #1 frontman for the English Giants, and that is unlikely to change anytime soon, but Duran is playing second fiddle to Ollie Watkins at Villa anyway. The 21-year-old Colombia international has made only 4 starts in the Premier League and just 1 start in the UEFA Champions League for Unai Emery's side so far this campaign. Ruben Dias is back. Earlier this week, there was positive news for Manchester City as Oscar Bob was pictured training. The Norwegian international appears to finally be on the verge of returning from the fractured leg he suffered at the beginning of this season. Now it appears that there is more good news on the injury front for Pep Guardiola's side ahead of their FA Cup third-round tie against Salford City. Now it seems that Ruben Dias is nearing a return from injury. The Portuguese international has been out of action since City's 2-1 defeat to Manchester United in the middle of December. That is a huge boost for Manchester City as they enter the second half of the season. Images shared by Ruben Dias on X show that he is nearing a return to the pitch. In the absence of Ruben Dias and John Stones, Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake have battled on manfully. The pair have played through the pain barrier during the absence of their teammates and should be commended for their effort. But now it appears that Ruben Dias is nearing a return, which is a relief for the world champions. Dias is a leader and his presence has been missed during his absence. Although Manchester City have won their past 2 games, they have missed the presence of their defensive leader. Now it seems he is nearing a return to the pitch. It remains to be seen if Ruben Dias could make the Manchester City squad for this weekend's FA Cup tie against Salford City. An update on the condition of Ruben Dias and the rest of the City squad is expected when Pep Guardiola fronts the media later today. If tomorrow's fixture comes too soon, it does seem that Dias' return is imminent, which is a huge boost for Pep Guardiola and his team. And that's the end of today's video. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss daily update from my channel.